Hi guys, here we go again with the part 2 of our topic about security. Before going deeper, what's the basic architecture of computers? To make it simple, we have 4 levels. At the bottom, we have the hardware layer, which is the whole material components. This layer interacts with the operating system above, and only the operating system. We can't have a direct relationship between the hardware and the application layer, for example. We must go through the layers in between in order. So, after the hardware layer, we have the application layer, which we as users can interact with. Now, our concern is this one, the operating system. We have a lot of them, as you can see here. Some for smartphones, others for laptops, servers, smartwatches, TVs, etc. Windows operating system is one of the most used operating systems in the world in personal PCs. After it comes Apple with the MacOS X, then the Unix-like operating systems, Linux and BSD. Those three have a large market share for computers. What about smartphones? Obviously, the Android and iOS are the conquerors. Here are the operating system usage statistics, which says that Windows has a market share of 87.76% as the top used operating system in 2019. And in general, smartphones with 52.61% as the most used computing devices. Since we talk about security, we must know the dark side and vulnerabilities exists in each operating system we use. Here is a list of top 50 products by total number of distinct vulnerabilities in 2019. We can see among the products listed there are a number of operating systems as Android, Debian, Windows, iOS, etc. This is in terms of security. Now we are going to move to one of the main services we have, the cloud assistants. For example, in Windows 10, Cortana. This system has a lot of functionalities, but instead it needs a lot of personal information about you to work better. Cortana needs your browser history, location, contacts, credit card serial number, emails, text messages, call history, music you listen to, everything you buy on the internet, and the list goes on. The data synchronization also is set to default in Windows, which can send also personal information to cloud servers. This is something you should be aware of. Fortunately, we can disable it. Windows 7, 8, 8.1 has a lot of security software available for them. They are easy to use. Most of people are familiar with them. They are fast to respond to fix security vulnerabilities. In the negative side, there is no anonymity. They are the main target for attacks. They are not open source and they cost money, of course. There is nothing different in Windows 10, but in privacy. It's a nightmare, primarily because of cloud services. Mac OS X is easy to use. Most of malware and attacks are not targeting this operating system because it has a low market share. It's fast respond to fix vulnerabilities. In the negative side, it has a limited security software available. In general, Windows and Mac OS are good for security, but weak for privacy and anonymity. Now to the Linux and BSD-like operating systems. Each one of them has a specific focus, which we will see after, but they have a common weakness. You have to sacrifice usability. You won't be able, for example, to use Microsoft Office, Adobe products, but there are alternatives to use in those operating systems. Those on the screen are the most easiest to use. Welcome to privacy. This is Debian. Debian has a privacy focus. A little hard to get working. It can be a hardware and compatibility may not work on a PC or some hardware equipment such as the Wi-Fi card, but it's a perfect operating system in security and privacy. There are also alternatives which have the same focus, like Arch Linux and OpenBSD. The Cube's OS is a security-focused operating system. The same as Debian, it's not compatible with all hardware, but if you use Librem laptops, it should work fine. Subgraph OS is also a pure security-focused operating system. For Anonymity tells us is one of the most known operating systems, but it's also the main targeted operating system by the government. Unix is also an anonymity-focused operating system. Now, moving to the mobile phones operating systems, Android. It's an open operating system, allows you to do more with it, but this isn't good for security. iOS is a little bit closed and restricted, and it's good for security. iOS is more secured than Android. For both of them, privacy is not guaranteed. After, this is a list of other phone operating systems. They are a privacy-focused operating systems and they are based on Android or Linux. To improve your security online, updating and patching software is a good habit to remain safe. Those are the three things you should update always. First, browsers, as Chrome, Firefox, Opera, browser extensions, as Flash, Java, email applications, as Outlook. Second, applications that use or play or view any sort of files, VLC player, PDF readers, image viewers, Excel, Word, etc. Third, the operating system itself. Hackers today, instead of wasting time on trying to break system, they are focusing on manipulating people using what's called social engineering, benefit from human emotions, stupidity, and trust. As Einstein said, two things are infinite, the universe and the human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe. And the well-known hacker Kevin Mitnick said once, there is no patch for human stupidity. Companies might invest huge amounts of money on firewalls and security systems, but if a critical attack comes from an employee inside, all that money is just wasted. So, we have to learn about those attacks in order to have self-defenses, starting with the strategies we can follow to reduce personal information spread. The avoidance, not use applications that doesn't guarantee your privacy. The content, control what you are posting online. Don't give sensitive information about you. The audience. Separate your personal and professional information. It can limit the exposure of your information. The compartmentalization. Use separate and fake identities wherever you are on the internet. And for your safety and privacy, don't use the open strategy and don't be transparent. I know it's getting harder to keep yourself out of the internet. Applications desire more and more your information, especially social media services. Then, are there any social media software that guarantee your privacy? Yes, there are. For example, Diaspora, Forendica, and the GNU Social Web. What about the forums that asks to register before benefit from a specific service?
Let's take this website for example, bugmenot.com. Let's say you want to register for imdb.com. Just a quick search in here and you will get multi-user accounts. Use one of them and there you go. No personal info given. Those are a few websites with the same goal, mitigate the spread of your personal info. Mailing websites. Get into one of them, choose an email address, use it to register for your needs. That's it. But keep in mind, those methods are not advised for sensitive uses, as registering for a banking service, for example. Here is a website for SMS receiving to confirm a registration. receive-sms-online.info. Choose a phone number, use it. You will get your verification code on this website as shown here. The question now is, what should I do to protect myself against social engineering, against spam, phishing, doxing, identity theft, etc.? First, if you didn't request it, don't click on it. Maybe a day you will get an email, SMS, message, or just redirecting during surfing web to another website. They will tell you that you are lucky and you won a big amount of money. Just you have to take few steps, then you will get them. You have to enter your identity info, address, etc. Or just click on a link. Maybe during that process you will get a virus, or they will use your personal info for their needs. Who knows? But make sure you will benefit nothing from it. To avoid all of this, if you get an untrusted mail, SMS, link, or whatever, don't use it. Second, never download and run any file you don't 100% trust. If you receive an email with execution extension, don't download it at all. Some of you use cracked software. It's a bad habit. A few days ago, one of my friends had downloaded a torrent software. At the installation step, his laptop get blocked. Ransomware, my friends. So he lost professional files of his studies goes to 8 years ago. The point is, don't run untrusted executables on your machines. Be careful to run any of those executables on your machine. They are very dangerous. Those document files can contain microviruses. Those can contain executable malware files. Those last ones are probably safe. Third, never enter sensitive information after following a link or pop-up. As I said before, if you get redirected to a web page or pop-up that has no relation with what you are looking for, don't use your real and sensitive info in there. Fourth, validate the link. Means see if it is a trusted link or not. So, what type of links should I trust? Before that, let's have a look of what is a domain name hierarchy. In every link, we will have a .com, .net, .org, .something. This is the top level domain. Before the dot, we will have the second level domain. For example, google.com. Google is the second level domain and com the top level domain. Before those two, maybe we will have something else, which is a subdomain of the parent google.com. For example, mail.google.com or docs.google.com and so on. Now to the tricky part. For the first link, the parent domain name is unis.net, not google.com. It's just a subdomain. So this link leads to unis.net servers. The second link also leads to the same servers. As we notice here, google.com comes after the slash, so it's a folder in that website. The third link, as you can see, contains a misspelling of Microsoft, so it's RN, not M. This link has nothing to do with Microsoft servers. Be careful, with some fonts it's hard to notice the misspelling. The same with the homograph attack, as you see. They are not Google's domain names. 0 instead of O and 1 instead of L. The hidden URLs also are suspicious. We don't know what the click here leads to without inspecting the HTML code. But we can also copy this link, paste it in a text editor, for example, and see what it is. The same with the last link. It seems okay, but it's an HTML tag. If you don't know about HTML, it's a good way to trick you. We can copy this one also and paste it to a text editor, but if it's manipulated with JavaScript, it can just copy the apparent link, not the real one. As an advice, all of this depends on the trust. As first, if you don't trust the source, don't use any links related to it. Now to the fifth rule. Minimize personal information disclosure. If you reduce giving your personal info, you will be more private, secure, and reduce the social attacks. The validation of the sender is also a good way to be safe. Means check the identity of the sender, its email, domain name, phone number, search on the internet who is the sender. For example, for the domain names, you can use whois.domaintools.com. Don't put USBs or CDs in your computer you don't trust, especially if you found them on the floor. As a conclusion, we saw in this lecture the basic architecture of computers, the operating systems, and their differences and features, the importance of updating and patching, a general idea about social engineering, and how to be more safe during your web surfing. Don't forget, it's all about trust and being careful. See you guys.